I doubled for Chris Hemsworth a couple times, two different projects, and I get hit by a grenade or something, and my body's just floating across the screen like this.
I ain't playing. Only person I'm playing a stunt double for is Danny DeVito. What's up? Welcome to another episode of Creative Chaos. My name is Hunter Ezell. Logan is in the other room doing my dirty work. But today, I have a very, very special guest with me. I never thought I would meet a real-life video game character. Holy cow. My KD on Call of Duty absolutely sucks, but this guy's doesn't because he's literally in the game. He has a new Netflix show dropping later this month. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lucas Hyde. What's up, dude?
What's up, brother?
Holy cow.
What an honor to be here, man.
What an honor to have you here.
No, man.
Literally, holy crap. I went through this phase where I was like, who can I have on the podcast? And I was chatting with a couple people, and then, Facebook, it's like constantly... I'm pretty sure at some point I have drank something or ate something that Facebook has put something in my food, and it's like, hey, let's go ahead and get his brain.
Oh, yeah.
There's
For
no
sure.
way it's getting stuff that it's like, let's just go ahead and put stuff on his feed that he's thinking. He's not going to say it out loud.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want some crazy cool people on the podcast. And then next thing you know, people were like, hey, there's a guy from Katie's that they modeled a Call of Duty operator after him. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So what's up, dude? How are you?
Man, life is good. Blessed, caffeinated, motivated. It's been crazy, man. It's been a crazy ride. Yeah, all this stuff you just brought up, Call of Duty, the Netflix show, all of that's coming to the light, and it's that industry, everything, like Call of Duty was years ago, and it's just now coming to the surface.
When did they start doing that?
For me, I shot that in 2023,
Holy crap.
like early 2023. And
Folks don't understand. Like, I know, because at the time of recording this, I have 3 days until I get my hands on a Nintendo Switch 2. God is good. Praise him.
Amen.
They don't understand that, like, you just didn't do that 2 days before they released that.
No, years.
They're like miles ahead. I remember whenever I was a kid, one of the funniest conversations that I remember whenever I was a kid, and I know, like, you thought this too, because obviously you have to be a little bit of a gamer if they made like if you got that gig. Yeah. But me and my friends had this belief that in other parts of the world, they were like, so like I was a real big fan of like Saints Row growing up. And my buddy was like, well, in Japan, they've already got Saints Row 5 and 2 hadn't even come out yet.
Yeah.
And he was like, they've already got Saints Row 5 out there. Or like, it'd be like 2 a.m. You'd get those crazy first look at the Xbox 720. And it was like this crazy looking thing.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like, I cannot even imagine what that process was like.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was years ago. And then it's Activision. They're extremely secretive. I mean, the NDAs are insane. So I do it, and then you can't talk about it at all for years. And it's like people will come up to you. They're like, "Oh, what have you been doing? Have you been busy? What have you been working on?" I'm like,
Guess you'll find out.
Nothing. And then, but I did a Call of Duty podcast yesterday, and they were asking like, how much did I know after I worked on it and leading up to the release of the game? Like, how much did I know? How much did I see? I was like, I didn't see anything. I don't see anything until it drops to the public like everyone else. And at that point, 2 years go by, and I'm like, man, maybe I'm not even in the game. Maybe they deleted me. Maybe it was all fake. Maybe it was a dream, whatever. And then the game comes out, and then you see it live, and you're like, wow, dream come true.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So did they put you in So I know a little bit about all, like, this is like right up my alley too.
Oh, yeah.
Like all this stuff is right up my alley. So did they put you in like, It's like this spherical looking thing with like all these cameras and stuff.
Yep.
And they were taking like photos of. They literally. Activision has a frame of every single part
Everything.
of your outer core.
Yep.
That's freaking
Yeah,
nuts.
dude, it's a bizarre process. Even like, so you go and they have this globe of I don't know how many cameras, and they have two of those. One is very small, and then I mean it's like the cameras are here, and that's for the face likeness. So I come in, you shave your beard, all that. They put the green dots all over you, and then for hours you're just setting. There's an iPad, and there's like a whole team of people outside the sphere. And then there's an iPad of these faces they want you to mimic. And they're like, you see that face? Do that face. So then for hours, I'm just sitting there making the craziest faces you could ever make. And you're screaming, yelling, all this stuff. They
All that for a first-person shooter where you can't even see the person's face for the majority of the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was the one that bought, oh my God, I think I bought Homelander.
Oh, yeah.
I was so hyped.
Yeah.
And then they would always put me on the opposing team that Homelander wasn't a part of in the operator selection screen.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, what the heck am I doing?
Right.
You know, but my God, I think I got, I haven't played Black Ops 6 that much, truthfully.
Honestly, I haven't either.
Have you played as yourself?
Yes. So the game, when did it come out?
It
October?
came out last year. They've been pushing them later and later every year.
Yeah. Like, so I was working in North Carolina on the Netflix show when it came out. And so I was locked away doing that. And as soon as it came out, I saw myself, and you had to get to like level 13 to unlock me. I did that and was like, all right, cool. And then I really didn't
How
get
cool is it though? Is that they put you behind a progression system?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not like
yeah.
available at the front.
Yeah. It's wild, man. And I barely got to play it, but I got to see myself and was like, man, that's dream come true. But then off back to North Carolina, and it was really surreal. It was full circle because in 2020 I was living in LA during like peak COVID lockdown, and in LA we couldn't do anything. Like I didn't even leave the house.
Y'all was in fancy jail cells.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, but we were locked in, and this was when like OG Verdansk came out, and
The greatest time.
greatest time.
Look at me
For
when
the
I
boys.
tell you this, viewer. 2020, Verdansk.
Peak.
You had to be there.
Yeah.
We're going to get some people in the chat talking about this. I guarantee it. I got chills. I'm like The Rock right now.
That's it.
I got chills. I literally, bro,
Peak gaming. It will never be another like it.
never
like,
forget it.
No, and locked in during COVID, me and my boys would stay up till 3, 4 a.m. and just play like Warzone nonstop. So then when they brought OG Verdansk back, man, I'm like, dude, I get to drop in as myself in OG
Literally.
Verdansk. And I'm like, that's it. It's peak. Like,
That's nuts.
yeah.
You know, whenever I think about, like, just think about the other people that you share, I get to play as myself in a video game with. Think about that for a second. You get, like, I'm trying to think of, like, different people that have skins in, like, Fortnite.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God, like all the Metallica guys.
Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter.
I'm in elite company, man.
Lucas Hyde from Katie's, Kentucky.
Katie's, baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and we talked a little bit about it yesterday on another thing, and it's cool, but it's also kind of morbid because when other people play as you, you see yourself getting killed. I don't know if we can say that, but getting attacked, and the first time I saw it, it was someone else playing as me, and I get hit by a grenade or something, and my dead body's just floating across the screen like this, just looking at me, and I'm like, that's
I'm thinking
weird.
about
That's weird.
oh my God, yeah, I was talking about Homelander. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like his finishing move.
Yeah,
His finishing move, like,
it's nasty.
I'm not saying I might have to go on Call of Duty later and
Do it.
do that and
it.
see what I can do,
Do it.
but I'm sorry in advance.
No, it's
I just
hilarious.
gotta see that, dude. That's so nuts.
No, I want to see it.
I remember, so like I said, like off screen, like me and Lucas were talking for a little bit, and if you can't tell, it's real to me. I love WWE with all my heart. I had a little I had a little lull in my fandom for a little bit where I didn't like keep up with it. But whenever they redid the video games and 2K got a hold of it, I really like dove back in. And honestly, the new 2K iterations of the games really got me back into wrestling full time. Like I went to WrestleMania last year.
No way.
Yeah, like
Wait, so who growing up, who was your guy?
Jeff Hardy.
Oh, that's solid. That's a solid choice.
Jeff Hardy. Like, dude, literally, like I would just come out the house.
The dance,
I
everything.
go like that. My mom was like, is he throwing a fit? Has he got Tourette's? What's going on?
We don't know.
You know, he's pitching a fit is what my mama would say.
Yeah.
But
Jeff Hardy, yeah.
they the character creation system in that, right? You know, because like 2K has like the face scanning stuff, right? I paid a guy from the UK $20 to accurately make me in 2K24.
Okay.
And dude, it got a little bit crazy. Like Logan was sitting on the couch and she watched the Undertaker choke slam me off like off of Hell in a Cell.
It's
she was
weird,
like,
isn't it?
She's like, I can't do that. I can't watch this. It's a little bit too uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to know what I look like with no tattoos, just go and look on the WWE game. I was not paying that guy to map all these in.
Oh Lord, no. There's no telling what that would cost.
Oh my goodness.
It's weird, ain't it?
Did you do like so they have like all these little clips and like voice lines and stuff. Did you record like voice lines too, or was that somebody else?
That was I can't remember his name. We did connect with each other. So Payne in Call of Duty is actually British, and that's not me. Obviously, they didn't want a Southern accent.
If I did not
Yeah.
know what you sounded like,
Yeah.
you could easily pass for like a guy from like
Somewhere else.
some like Liverpool area.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's so
take
interesting. Hey, you know, dude,
You never know.
people say this is about to be the most hilarious thing you've heard all day because you're hearing me talk like this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Whenever I worked at the Mixer over here on 6th Street, there were a couple of people that would talk to me and they were like, "Where are you from?" I go, "Here." They're like, "No way." I go, "What do you mean?" They're like, "You sound like you're from Brooklyn." I go, "Have you ever been to New York?"
Yeah. Have you heard anyone from Brooklyn?
You know, but it got worse. I was at a Wingstop in Nashville like 3 months ago. And this guy, do you listen to rap music much?
Yeah.
You know Mexican OT?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, there's this guy. He's working the front register. He looks just like Mexican OT. I'm already hyped. I was like, bro, that's so crazy. Like, I was chatting with him, and he was like, "So what borough you from?" I go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "You from New York, right?" I go, "No." He goes, "Gotta be from the Bronx." I go, "Are you crazy?" And another person got Louisiana.
I believe that more than New York. But
Bro, I'm just like,
I mean, if they're not from here, like when I was in LA, people would always hit me with, "Oh, you're from Australia." I'm like, "Have you ever heard an Aussie?" Because it ain't me.
Australia?
Someone at the gym was like, "Oh wow, like Australia." I'm like, "No, Kentucky."
How do you get that?
I don't know, man.
That's nuts. So you didn't have to record any voice lines.
No, just the likeness.
I don't think they want to hear a country boy.
No, maybe
doing a
one
British
day.
accent.
Yeah. But I did connect with the guy because I didn't know who he was. And then
Did he look like you a little bit?
No, not at all.
Because I've learned, you know, like they say, like most pets look like their owners, and you know, most voice actors look like their characters. So I guess he didn't really resemble you much at all.
No, maybe if he cut his hair and stuff, but no.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Super nice guy though.
So, how did you get into like all of this?
Great question. So where you want to start? The very beginning?
Take me back.
All right, let's go. Let's dive in. So I went to Murray State University. I went through their OSHA program.
When did you graduate?
2018.
Okay.
Yeah, May 2018. Like 2 weeks before I graduated, I got linked up with Gulfstream Aerospace in California. Got a job offer out there and was like, sure, never left Katie's. Why not go see California? And started that job. Great salary, great benefits, office, all that stuff. Just the whole corporate thing. And as soon as I got there, I mean, the day that I got there, I was like, this ain't it. Like, I know this ain't it. And not that it was terrible or anything like that. I just knew that there was something else, you know, that that God was calling me to do, but I didn't know what it was. I never once in my life said, "Oh, I'm gonna be an actor." I never said that because
Yeah.
from Katie's, man, that's not a thing.
I
There's
think
no.
most people that are the best at this, it always falls into their lap.
That's exactly what happened. Well, it just fell in my lap, and I'm sure you
Yeah.
have a similar
Yeah.
experience with creating things and falling into that. And yeah, I was just like, I don't know what it is. I know it's not this,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thankful for that season because it taught me that I don't care about money.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can pay me as much as you want. If it's not what I want to do, if it's not what I'm
Yeah.
called to do, don't care.
Your mental health and your well-being, like the way you feel when you hit your head on your pillow at the end of the night. I know we live in an area where, like, like you got to work to provide for your family.
Yeah.
But and that mindset is absolutely great, but I'm the kind of person, thank God I have been blessed with the opportunity to do the stuff that I get to do.
Absolutely.
But it's like how you feel at night whenever you close your eyes and go to sleep, I feel like matters more than anything else.
You can't put a price on it. And like, I'm glad I learned that lesson at 22 because everyone that I worked with, they were much older than me. They were 60 or close to it, close to retirement. Oh,
and they're like,
vets.
"Oh, this young buck don't know what he's got himself
Well,
into."
it was that, but mostly they were like, dude, you're set. I wish I would have started this job at 22, just
Yeah.
sat in this office for 40 years and imagine what your 401k will be. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm not happy. And like, I'm a very optimistic person. Like the second I open my eyes, I'm like, let's go. We got another one, like
Yeah.
another day. And I was just so unhappy there. And, but it was necessary to teach me that lesson that, I don't care about money. I need to go do what it is I want to do because we could leave tomorrow. And if I
Literally
leave tonight, and it's like, what was the point of me being here if I didn't use my time doing what I was supposed
I
to
think
do?
about that often. I think about, like if the sun, like I was looking at it because I was on Reddit scrolling last night and there were people tripping out. They were like, the sun looks really weird. And it's because there's like wildfires in Canada right now making stuff look real hazy. And I was reminded of a little scientific fact that was like, if we were 5% closer to the sun, we would be obliterated within an instant.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think about that quite often. It's like, if I don't think about that quite often, but what I think about is if today was my very last day on earth, would I have been satisfied with how I spent it?
You have to think like that. Like, I mean, that was.
I don't think enough people think like
They
that.
don't, dude. They don't. They because it like, and it's normal. I get it. Like the world has conditioned all of us. Like, and I went through that system. I went to college, got a degree I was told to get, did a job that I was told was good, but the whole time I was like, I'm not happy. And I think the younger generation is getting better about fulfillment over salary and things like that. At least I hope that they are, because it's hard to not even get emotional thinking about it, because now sitting where I am, so I left, the whole corporate world left at like the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. So 5 years ago. And all the things I've been so blessed with, like traveling and working with people I've got to work with and creating these things, it's like I would have never got to do any of that if I let fear or money dictate my life. And I would have just been stuck in some office that I hated.
It's just crazy how, I've talked about this on the podcast before. It's so crazy the snowball effect. One step can just change your life.
Everything.
I think about, if you look at like where me and Logan, my wife, are today, is like whole reason why we met is because she put on Instagram, she put this Chainsmokers and 5 Seconds of Summer song on her Instagram story, and I slid up on it. And I was like, oh my God, I love this song. And I think about how if I never messaged her about that song,
What would have happened?
I wouldn't have a wife.
Right?
I wouldn't have any of this, because she has pushed me further than anybody else ever has. And it's like, it's just so crazy how like you don't understand how one small step can absolutely just change the landscape.
Everything, man. Like I think about it a lot, because now that people are asking questions about these different projects and stuff like that, I'm like, everything you're seeing right now is because of one step of faith I took 5 years ago,
Absolutely.
and a terrifying step. And it wasn't sunshine and rainbows and all this. It took 5 years to even get things like this to come to the surface. And I also believe that God will test your vision, because if you're like, all right, I want this. And I mean, there were so many people that lived in LA and they're like, well, I've been here 4 months and Netflix hasn't called, so I'm gonna go home. And it's like, well, you didn't want it. Like, you're not there for the right reasons. And I was like, God, when I found this, because I prayed and prayed and prayed about it, I was like, what am I supposed to do? And when I started getting involved with acting and being on set and meeting people, I've never felt so certain about something. I was like, man, the connection with people, that's my favorite thing in the world. Like this, sitting down, talking about real things. And I was like, I want this. And so then the corporate job left, the money left. It's like, okay, do you still want it when your money goes to zero? When there's nothing guaranteed, do you still want it? And I was like, I want it. I don't care. And one step of faith 5 years ago is starting to pay off now. And it's like, I hope everyone will do that.
I think a lot of people that I like to promote a lot of taking the chance on yourself mentality. There's a YouTube channel that we absolutely love. We've actually driven by their headquarters in Venice Beach a couple times. They're called Yes Theory. Do you know that? Do you know that channel?
Probably. I've probably come across it.
They have a clothing brand called Seek Discomfort.
Okay.
And they have a bunch of different, I'm a super duper. I wouldn't call myself a hype beast because I stopped doing Supreme years ago. But, I still wear like essentials, fear of God, everything like that. And they have these oversized tees with like stuff that's just like embroidered on it. And it's like, if it doesn't scare you, it's not worth doing.
I've seen those, for sure.
Just stuff like that. And I'm such a big proponent of that. I'm like, if it does not terrify you, like I still get nervous shooting weddings, and it's like that's a good thing because that shows that you genuinely care about what you're about to step into. Yeah,
that feeling should not go away. That, if anything, I've learned to that is my beacon. I'm like, if I feel that means I'm on the right path. And people should get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. I know it's so uncomfortable and doing things that are scary. You don't know that you're going to succeed, but when you do it and you get on the other side or you get to the mountaintop, the view is great, man. You're just like, it was so worth it, no matter how much fear it was. And usually the fear it's not even real. It's just in your head.
That has worked with Yes Theory in the past. His name is Wim Hof. Do you know about this guy?
I don't think so.
Dude, I'm giving you a lot of stuff to look up later.
I know.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
But you were talking about you have to feel comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. He promotes that with a special type of practice. He takes you up to somewhere in the Swiss Alps or something, and you submerge yourself in freezing cold water in like swim trunks and stuff, and you sit there. And it's like it was like a 20-minute practice of just sitting in freezing temperatures, and eventually your body acclimates to it.
Oh yeah.
And, that he's promoting the practice of, it's like, I don't know if this is the right term to use, but it's like if you put a frog in a thing of water and then you start to boil it, it's not going to know that it's being boiled. And I feel like that was something that you really didn't want yourself to get into whenever you were doing like all that stuff with like OSHA and everything.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was such a blessing because it scared me to death. Like, it lit a fire under me because I got to look into this crystal ball. I was 22. Everyone else was 55, 60 or older. And I'm like, that's my future if I don't, which there's nothing wrong with that type of job.
No.
But if you're not going after what you know in your soul you're supposed to go after, then it doesn't matter what job it is that you're going to, it's awful. And I got to look into this crystal ball into the future and be like, that's where you're headed. Do you want that? And
some people are totally okay.
Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Some people are so okay with that job. You know, I mean, I know people that are totally content with getting up, going to work at 9, taking their lunch break at 1, and then leaving at 5 going home, watching their TV shows,
Yeah.
and doing it all over again the next day.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot to be said about, you know, breaking that mold though in your family.
Yes. Yes. I think if you were called to do something like that, you have to, because I mean, it opens so many doors and hopefully inspires other people to be like, hey, I mean, thank God you picked up a camera. I mean, look at all the things you've got to create. It's
If
like
the solar eclipse had never come to Hopkinsville, Kentucky, I probably wouldn't be doing this.
wow.
Because, you know, long story short, literally, like, I made a video about Hopkinsville with like an iPhone 6.
Yeah.
And we bought they were running a Walmart Black Friday deal on a DJI Phantom 3 standard, like cheap old drone, right, at the time. But I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Second day into flying it, I crashed it into my neighbor's backyard. They still don't know about that.
They do now.
They do now. If you listen, like, and subscribe, neighbor.
Yeah.
Anyways, then a couple months pass, and, you know, me and my friends, you know, back in the day, you know, those super duper cool travel videos, like people running, they got chain smokers playing in the background, cliff jumping.
I know the one.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm guilty. Yeah.
I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I live in Kentucky. And so, you know, there's a little like lake or something, North Main Street. And me and my homeboys, you know, I was the fat one. I ain't cliff jumping. I won't jump too far. I hit my head on a rock. I'm dying. I was like, I'll film it.
Easy. There you
And
go.
so we started doing all that stuff. And then I was like, yeah, I want to do something else. I want to, let's make a video about Hopkinsville. And so, like, one of my favorite, like, what type of music do you listen to?
Man, I was talking about this yesterday. It is, I mean, we're from here, and I was raised on, you know, 90s country, Brooks and Dunn, all that stuff, Johnny Cash. And that's like my in my blood. But now, like, I still listen to the old stuff like that. But dude, my playlist is insane. It'll be like
Same.
Drake, Beethoven, Nirvana, Brooks and Dunn.
You and I are
man,
literally on the same wavelength.
it's everything,
I
man.
have
Everything.
a 2,000 song playlist called Jams.
Same.
And if you were interested, I will literally drop this
Yeah.
right up here so you can go check it out. But I have like a 2,000 song playlist.
Me too.
And I like the artist I'm about to talk about got me into like bass music, like EDM.
Yeah.
My favorite electronic artist of all time is a guy named Illenium. I have got one of his albums tattooed right
Oh,
here.
wow.
Right here.
You're in there.
I bled so much getting this. Tyler Pritchett, I love you, dude.
That's an awesome tattoo, though.
But he had a song that, you know, one of those other travel YouTubers, he used one of Illenium's songs behind it. I was like, oh my God, this is like crack for my ears.
Yeah.
And I put that song behind this Eclipseville video that I made. And I put that sucker up, and it got like 135,000 views.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like, at the time, I was like 20 years old. I had just turned 20 years old.
Yeah.
And like, just doing that. And then people, this girl reached out to me and she was like, hey, can you film my wedding like that? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And then next thing you know, another person asked, and another person asked, another person asked.
Yeah.
And then people started asking me to fly to them to film their weddings.
Italy and wherever. I don't know where else you've
Italy.
been.
I went to Greece last year. You know, we just got back from Pittsburgh yesterday.
Yeah.
And, you know, I go to Cleveland in 2 weeks. And it's just like, and whenever people ask, they're like, how'd you get into this? I was like, it kind of just fell into my lap, and I ran with it.
Just trust it.
But I've loved movies my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I see you've got you seem to be quite the connoisseur if you've got that hat
I'm
on
in there.
right now.
I'm in there.
So have you always been like a movie guy?
I mean, it's totally different now
Yeah.
because of my understanding of it.
You see it in a different light.
Oh, it's huge for me now. But I think it was subconscious growing up because, like I said, I never said I was going to be an actor. Never had that desire. Nothing. But I was always very impacted by it. Music impacts me more than anything. Like I could bust into tears, depending like a song, like it just moves me more than anything. But films do as well, and like I said, now it just man, they are a work of art, and I really love them. I love making them. I love being a part of them, and yeah. I love movies.
So, if you were to just blurt out your top 5 right now, what would they be?
Number one thing of all time, is The Dark Knight, but specifically Heath Ledger as the Joker. That is my favorite thing. I'm surprised I don't have it tattooed on my body because that performance, that character, that is
That dude,
everything.
That dude
for
put
me.
his heart and soul.
Crushed it, and like that. I've seen that movie more than anything, and
Really?
that performance alone is just like it does something to me. I don't know. So that movie, because Christopher Nolan is definitely one of my favorite directors. Inglourious Bastards, Quentin Tarantino, amazing movie. I love psychological thrillers. There's a movie called Prisoners by Denis Villeneuve. Love that movie. What else? I don't know. I gotta say like Gladiators, like the OG Gladiator. Man, it goes back and forth. It's tough. I don't know what the fifth one would be. There's too many, man. There's too many to pick from. What about you? What are yours?
My favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I like something enough, I'm getting it tattooed on my body.
Yeah.
Which is why I got my wife's initial tattooed right here.
See, that's love.
But
I need
my
that.
favorite movie of all time is Midsummer.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I love those type of movies. So you like the weird ones?
I'm an A24 snob.
Same.
I've got all the screenplays. I'll have to show them to
No way.
you. I've got like 4 screenplay books in there.
Oh man.
I've got Hereditary.
Hereditary.
I've got Ex Machina.
Yeah. Oh
I've
my
got-
god. That
I think
movie.
I've got Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I think, oh, you've never seen that? No. Oh my God.
I know it's good, but I haven't seen it.
For my 25th birthday, my dad and I, we went to I got tears in my eyes just thinking about it. It's such a good movie. My dad and I, we went to Yellowstone for my 25th birthday. And we had some time to kill before. So my birthday, we didn't have anything to do because we were flying out the next day. So we would fly into Bozeman from Nashville. Cheap flight. If you ever want to go see that part of the country, you can fly up there for like $70 round trip on Allegiant.
Easy.
Bro, you can put me in the cargo bay. I'll fly. I don't care.
Just get me there.
Just get me there.
Put me in
I've flown
luggage.
to LA on Spirit Airlines so much. $50. Come on. Anyways, we were going up there, and I was like, Dad, I really want to go see this movie. But we had flew to Bozeman, and then we drove down to Yellowstone, like a 4-hour drive. So I was like, we have to get down there so we can make our flight the next day. I was like, let's go to the movies. Had no idea. My favorite thing is watching a movie, not having any idea what it's about.
Dude, I don't watch trailers. I don't want to hear anyone's opinion of it. I don't care about the reviews. I want to go in so blind.
Dude,
I love it.
I went into Everything Everywhere All at Once with not a hint. I did Midsummer the exact same way.
It's the only way to watch a movie.
Logan hates horror films. She went and saw it with me. Boy,
Oof.
that first 10 minutes.
They come out swinging. Literally.
First 10 minutes, Ari Aster don't play.
No.
He don't play.
Nope.
He's got a new movie coming out here soon, and I'm real excited about it.
Yeah.
Did you see Beau is Afraid?
No.
It's got Joaquin Phoenix in it.
Ooh.
It's like pretty much like, it is like what I imagine what being schizophrenic is like, put in a movie.
I'd have to see that.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
But my dad don't like them kind of movies. My dad, he's a Marvel guy. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was like, that's one of the greatest movies I've ever watched in my life. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah.
It's got Ki Hu Kwan. I'm going to butcher that name so bad.
Oh, I know. I'm familiar with it, but I just haven't seen it.
I'm going to butcher that name so bad. But what was so cool about that movie is that it was a production team of maybe 10 people.
Yeah.
You know, the budget of the movie wasn't even that big. And like the VFX that they were making for those, they were taking these curved LED monitors. Like I have one myself.
Yeah.
They were taking 3 of those and they were putting stuff into like Unreal Engine and they were doing stuff that way. And like there's a scene where one of the main characters, she's traveling through different, realities, different multiverses and stuff like that. And they're like they have attached this chair to her, and they've put the monitors on the back of the chair and stuff like that, and they're blowing her hair in the wind, and it's making them look like she's actually traveling through it. That's what I love about indie films so much.
Oh,
is
that's my
because
favorite.
you don't know how they did it, but they got it done.
Yeah, I prefer it. If all my wildest dreams came true, and I could work with whoever I want to work with, and I've done whatever my career, money's not an issue. I would still stick with the indie projects. I mean, those are the movies I like, and the ones that I've got to work on. I've been blessed to work on huge budget films and see that, and behind the curtain of that, $200 million movie, and then I've got to work on super small indie ones, and they're both fun, but there's something about the nitty gritty indie filmmaking stuff, and just like it's usually someone's vision, and it's not touched by a studio. They're not influenced by money. They're like, I'm gonna make the film that I want to make, and
I need
that's
to see you get on an A24 project.
we're working on it. We're working on it.
Oh, Jesus, don't tell me that.
No. It's just I mean, I want to tap
Don't tell me
into.
that.
I want to tap
Holy
into.
crap, dude.
Yeah, man. That I love their stuff.
Freaking, if you name it by them, I've seen it. Them and Neon. What do you think about Neon?
Oh, dude, they just won their 6th Palme d'Or at Festival de Cannes.
My God.
They are on a I mean, for me, those two are just crushing it. And
I'm a big horror junkie. I'm a
Same.
big horror junkie.
I love, man, I was talking to someone yesterday about a really messed up French film because all I've been watching for like the past 2 years is only French movies because I've been studying French, and that's the best way to learn. And there's a French film called Martyrs.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that is the most messed up movie I've ever seen in my life.
See, I won't watch Terrifier. I won't
No, it's I've seen that, and that's more just like even like Saw. It's
That's just like gore fest.
This isn't that. This is
I won't do it.
I don't like gore for
won't
the
do
sake
it.
of gore. Like I like some psychological aspect of it, but I do like the horror stuff.
Did you see Men by Alex Garland?
Messed up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I watched. Oh my God. Look, you've got two movie snobs in the same room together. Oh my God.
Let's cook.
What is that movie that, oh my God, it's a Kevin Smith movie. They turn him into a walrus. Justin Long.
Oh, yes. With just because I can see the like poster and it's got the big tusk.
Yes.
It's a tusk. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watched it for the first time, and I lent the DVD to one of my buddies, Shane, and he was like, all right, I'll watch it. I'll report back. He messaged me later that night. He said, I'm never borrowing another movie from you again.
That's how Martyrs is, bro. That movie.
You've got to watch Tusk. If you were less than the legal age to watch this movie, don't watch it. You please don't. I am not held liable for that. Holy crap.
There's some messed up ones out there, man. Like you mentioned A24, The Lighthouse, Robert Pattinson, Willem Dafoe.
Them boys was nuts.
Oh,
The way
man.
they did that.
Robert
I'll never
Eggers.
look at the Batman the same. In fact, going into that, I watched The Lighthouse right before.
Yeah, he's one of my. He might be my favorite actor.
Dude,
He is
dude.
crushing it.
To know Marvel let Willem Dafoe have the Green Goblin again after The Lighthouse. Not that it was just like, but you know, I think whenever you attach yourself to certain projects, you know, to go into the limelight of something so big, like, you know, like a Marvel movie and stuff like that, you know, it's like, you're kind of like treading dangerous waters there.
Oh, for sure.
Because The Lighthouse has got some very questionable things in it.
Oh man, I love it. Those are the kind of movies I want to make. Those
Bro.
are, yeah. The
Dude.
Witch, The Lighthouse.
Yes, all
Eggers.
of them. Look, you and I, we're on the same wavelength here.
Yeah,
But
Nosferatu.
Midsummer, yes,
Midsummer.
Nosferatu was crazy.
I like Eggers a lot, man. He's good.
I-
Midsummer though, man, I watched it. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything at all. And I was watching it like, I don't remember when it was. It might have been during COVID, and it was like 3 a.m. And I'm like, well, my sleep schedule's shot. I'm going to try it. And 10 minutes in, like you said, they are not pulling any punches,
It's
man.
so cool to see how versatile an actress can be, like Florence Pugh.
That's the goal. Like she's done it all, like Marvel, big budget. You know, you hear some actors talk about how they're, which didn't make sense at first because it's like, why would you be upset about getting cast in like a big franchise?
Was it Scorsese that said he didn't like the way films were heading because of Marvel?
I think something like that. There was, but I mean, with media, everything has context.
Everything is blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
But it is so cool to see how versatile she has become, because I didn't know who she was before Midsummer.
I didn't either.
But seeing her jump from that and then going into Don't Worry Darling with like Harry Styles, that all-star cast. Oh my God, that was so freaking good.
That's the goal. Like I said, is like I mean, even with Robert Pattinson, he did Twilight, made $100 million, and then now he's doing whatever he wants. And dude is a phenomenal actor.
Wasn't he? I think he's like even doing like side missions. Like I'm pretty sure he's in like one of those. What's his name? Miyazaki.
He's in a new anime.
Yeah,
he was the voice of the Heron or something.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name.
Yeah, the something Heron. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not as brushed up on those as I should be,
either.
but I saw. I watched. What is the one with no face in it? Oh my God, my friends are gonna kill me.
I don't know.
Spirited Away.
Oh,
Yeah, watch that. Oh, fantastic. But dude, that's freaking nuts. So, what other projects have you worked on besides, being a master prestige and
Dude, I'm trash at Call
your
of
new
Duty.
project that I cannot wait to dive into?
Thank you for that. So I guess how it all got started. My first real project was in 2020, and I got brought in to be a double for Channing Tatum on a movie called Dog. And
What?
yeah.
Logan, you hear this? Come here.
That was, I'll wait for it. So my first ever project, like to ever see behind the curtain in Hollywood, I was brought in to be like a double for Channing Tatum on a movie called Dog. And that was like my drama school, like paid drama school.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We got real life sitting here. Come on. This is nuts.
Yeah. So but like you were saying, with Everything Everywhere All at Once, how it was shot really intimately with a small team. This movie was shot that same way. And I was with them from day one till basically the very end. It was like 60 something days of work. And that taught me everything. I mean, I'm still learning from that project, and he was such a great guy to work with. And we shot it so small. It was him and his best friend, and Channing had lost his dog a couple years before. And he's like, I want to make a movie dedicated to my dog. So it was just like me and you were bros, and we want to go make a passion project. And it's Channing, so he got some funding, but we still filmed it like me and you were going to shoot in the backyard. And it was super small, but we got to travel.
I remember this movie. I remember seeing the trailer for this.
It was a good movie. And it was just a big passion project. But yeah, that was my first real project where I got to learn absolutely everything. And like the job is basically like some people ask me, like, what do you do in that job as a double or whatever? And honestly, it's like sufficient or efficiency. So anything that they can film with me and not show my face and you think it's him, they'll use me. And then so he can go film the next thing. And so it's just an efficiency thing. But that taught me so much, man. And he was
A lot of people think that it's just like you're just doing like stunts and stuff. But like if your face is invisible, they're going to do it with you, right?
If they want to, and if they can, they will. Like even driving stuff, like anything, because there's just money being bled out constantly on set. Like the clock is ticking. And man, I learned so much from that. Like he was just awesome human being, more than you could ever hope for. Just a good old boy, honestly. And so many memories from that. And that fed into my career now and led to so many other things, and like prepared me because of that. Like I walked in on that set and I didn't have any pressure on me because he's the guy. He's the main guy. Obviously I want to be that guy one day, but you got to pay your dues. And because I did that, I was comfortable walking in bigger sets with my own role, and I wasn't nervous. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I know how all this works. That's how I got my start. And I got to work on other projects with him. Bullet Train, he has a cameo in that. I got to work on that. And then it led to doubling for other people. I doubled for Chris Hemsworth a couple times in two different projects. And
Mighty God, Thor.
Thor, yeah. And I didn't work on Thor.
Logan's thinking around.
But
Holy crap,
but
dude.
that was like the greatest drama school ever. And I know some people have an ego about it and they're like, I want to be the guy with the stunt double. I'm like, yeah, of course I do. But at the beginning, I didn't know anything. So I got to go and work under these guys and learn from the top of the top how they do it. And man, I haven't met anyone who was hard to work with. Everyone across the board, like the lesson that I took away from them was no ego. They had no ego. They were.
I think a lot of people that aren't in it, they really think Hollywood is just nothing but pretentious people.
There are, and usually there's a ton of them, but it's usually the people you don't even know and the people that aren't even a part of anything. Like, it's just, and people have asked me crazy questions, especially being from the South, and I mean that people that don't know that industry, they're like, oh, Hollywood, you sell your soul and this and that. And
literally.
And they're like, what'd you see? Did you go to Diddy parties? Did you do this? I'm like,
come on.
No. I'm like, look, it's like any big city, no matter what industry you're in, you can, if you seek that, you can find it.
Oh,
for
100%.
Sure. But
I'm sure you can seek that right here in town.
100%.
You know,
100%.
if we're just going to go ahead and talk it.
Yeah. They were going off of body. They were like, what do you look like shirtless right now? So I had to send them that. And I sent them that, and they're like, all right, great, come on in. And then I get there, and dude's like, he makes me look like a child. And I'm like 6'1.5", like I'm not short. Yeah, and dude, he's, big dude.
I ain't playing, only person I'm playing a stunt double for is Danny DeVito.
No, bro, you
Well,
got
we're keeping that in. I don't know if you started, we're keeping that in.
Oh,
I
man.
swear. But, dude, one of the people that I am really fascinated with how they treat people on set. My dad and I and my sister's boyfriend are going to see his new movie tonight, but Tom Cruise.
Oh,
the way he treats people
Dude,
on set.
He sets the standard. That's a blueprint right there.
I was not familiar with it until recently.
Yeah.
People talking about how good he was to people. But like there were like a couple interns and stuff, and he was just sitting down chopping it up with them. Like people were like there's a photo of him chopping it up with like all these PAs. Because I'm somewhat familiar with it. I got a gig for ABC's Christmas Light Fight whenever they filmed the episode at Patty's a couple years ago.
Okay.
I was a PA on that set, and I know how ridiculous. It was 2 a.m.
It's chaos.
2 a.m. We're
It's
filming.
chaos.
I started at 6 and I wrapped at 4 in the morning.
It's not luxurious. People think it's glorious, and it's usually all the stuff after the film is made, the red carpets, the photos.
Yes, that's the payoff.
That's the flashy stuff that honestly I'm not even concerned with. I just love making movies, but the movie making process is gritty, man. Like it's work, and I mean I won't compare it to somebody who goes to the coal mine every day, but it's really not as glamorous as people think it is. It's not. Like you have to be down to work. Like if you're not about it and the elements and all these things, like even filming Dog, they put us through the ringer with that, and I'm so glad because it prepared me. It's like you gotta really want it.
They the girl we were chatting with yesterday, she was like, "Yeah, we filmed for 60 hours a week, only for it to be put into a 47-minute episode."
Oh yeah,
Which on my end of things, whenever it comes to weddings and stuff, I'm only there 8 hours, and it all gets chopped up into like anywhere from a 5 to 12-minute film.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that process has got to be ridiculous.
It is
because you don't
relentless.
know. You know, you think about all the different takes.
Yep.
You know, they might take a line from your first take and splice it with your second line from like the 50th take, you know?
Yeah.
And nobody understands.
The poor editor.
No, like, and I catch those things as a filmmaker, and you can literally, if Logan comes in here and she's gonna be like, yeah, he does that. I will watch whenever, for instance, whenever it comes to editing and stuff, you'll see somebody deliver a line and then it jumps to them talking to a person.
Nope.
I'm like, that is a different take. If
You can
it's
tell.
like the back of their head and they're delivering the line, especially in like Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad, one of the greatest TV shows of all time. But they were really, I noticed it because I do that.
If
kind
you're
of
in
thing.
it, you can see it.
And like I was like, bro, his head did not move that way whenever he was delivering that line.
Yep.
So you see exactly what I'm talking about,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
right? It's just one of those things that just bothers me.
Oh yeah, like I mean, you edit, so like otherwise, like before I got into all this, I wouldn't know. And now that I've edited and shot my own stuff and all that, like you get it, and it's like glaring to you. But yeah, man, the editors are men. They can make or break your career. Like
Make you look bad, make you look good.
they can save a movie. I mean, there was one I worked on, and there was 16 different edits. They chiseled it down, and they finally got it right on the 16th one. I'm like, dude, give that editor an Oscar, because like I even saw what we filmed, and I was like, I don't know about this. And then I watched the movie and was like, wow.
And what was this in particular?
I feel bad now because it was Dog
Oh,
with
yeah.
Channing Tatum, which with the nature of it, it was like some of it was comedy, and with comedy, man, you kind of just, depending on the filmmaker, you can just set the camera up and let it roll. So there's a lot of stuff being thrown in, and you only need one to work. So there's a lot that doesn't work. And so seeing all that being made, I'm like, man, we filmed a lot. I don't know how this is going to fit. These puzzle pieces are going to fall together. And then we finally got to the screening, like the premiere of it. I was like, wow, it's actually really good. Not that I thought it was going to be bad. I was just like, man, I can't imagine trying to piece this together, because we just filmed so much stuff. And I'm like, where do you even begin? It's just
One
so
of my
much.
favorite things, especially with like wedding films and stuff, is that I deliver the films back to the couples and everything, and they're like, holy cow, that's what it was like. I was like, yeah. It's so cool, especially working with people who have no idea what they're getting into and stuff like that. From like I would say there's honestly probably no directorial input in what I do, but I know it's cool getting to see. I know it's cool for people getting to see what I thought their wedding day was like whenever it comes to like filming and everything like that. So I bet it was cool getting to film all of that stuff for like all these various projects and seeing what they piece together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even this show that's about to come out, and every filmmaker is different, and it's so fascinating because long term, I'm touching on so many different topics right now, but long term, that's my goal, is to direct and create my own films. I mean, acting will always be at the top, but I want to create my own stuff as well and have my hand in that. And so getting to work with so many different filmmakers and seeing their different styles of shooting, because they're all drastically different in how they direct and stuff. Like this show that's about to come out, The Waterfront, there's 8 episodes, and so there's 4 blocks, so we film 2 episodes at a time, and they had a different director for each block. So as an actor, you're like, it's a different person, a different style every time they come in. But one guy in particular, I was really fond of his filmmaking style. He did the first 2, I believe, and maybe another one. His name's Marcos, and he's a producer on the show. And the way the guy just shot everything was very fascinating, and he just didn't care. He was like, not that he didn't care about he didn't care about the money. But we were trying to make a decision.
He was doing things his way because that's what he.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was like, I want this shot. I don't care what it costs. He's like, because you're trying to tell a story and your name's on the line. You're like, why would we cheap out? But yeah, man, it's so cool getting to work with different people and see their creative process. And it's just inspiring. And that's what I want to do one day as well. And yeah.
So talking about creative processes,
Here we are.
How do you prep for a role?
So they're all different, but you kind of everyone has, there's no right answer, and if anyone says there is, they're wrong, because when I was in LA, you go to these different studios and you're just hungry. You're like, okay, well, how do I do this? Because I don't want to mess this up, and eventually, when you do it enough, you figure out what works for you. So what works for me might not work for you,
Right?
But for me, you get the script. You read the lines, and for me, I have to burn the lines into my soul, into my head, like run them 1,000,000 times until I can just say them without even thinking about it. You can have a gun to my head, I'm gonna say it, and I'm not gonna I really have to have the words down. And then you just you just fill in the blanks, like you make it, for me, you just justify it. Like the guy I play in the waterfront is, I guess on paper, a bad guy. Like he does some questionable things, but in this, like for me in the story, I'm like, well, why am I doing these things? But it was for family, essentially, is what I told myself. And so you just justify it and you just make it real. And you can prep so much, but really, when you get there on the day, because I would be over prepping before I really got to go on these different shows and stuff. And now I've learned to just like let it go. Because when you get on set and you're in the room that you're supposed to be in, and I'm sitting across from you, you're the other actor, and I don't know what you're going to do. And you let all that just inform you. And then when you do your work, like when you show up to set, you're just free. You don't even think. Like you don't have to think, and you just play. And you know the parameters you're supposed to play in. Like, I just worked on an episode of Tulsa King, and that was 2 weeks ago down in Atlanta, Georgia. And I mean, I'm in one scene. I'm in two scenes, but really it's one bigger scene. And I mean, I'm not gonna spoil all of it, but like I have one big scene, and Sylvester Stallone's in there. It's a room full of like 300 people. The whole cast is there, and they've all been filming. This is their third season. They all know each other, and I'm coming in as a day player. I don't know anybody, and I have to come in and essentially like take over this room and shut it down and all that. And so you have to be like, you have to do your homework and be prepared. So I can walk into this room with 300 people and Rocky, someone I look up to, Sylvester Stallone,
freaking Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo. And like you have to come in and scream at him and all these other people and stay cool, like perform under pressure. So that's just where preparation comes in. And I'm sure it's the same with you doing anything that you do. It's like preparation gets rid of doubt. It gets rid of insecurity, and you can walk into these rooms and in these huge weddings and wherever else and perform and do what you do best. And like, so it kind of just transcends all of that, all disciplines.
That is so crazy, dude. So like so what was the process getting this waterfront gig started? Like, how did all that happen?
Very interesting. So I have an agent. They get me auditions, and it was really bizarre because I had this particular audition for the role of Tim, is who I play in the waterfront, was 2 lines. That's it. It was said 2 lines, 2 scenes. So it was 1 day of work. That's what I was told. I said, okay. And the audition.
1 day of work for 2 lines, 2 scenes.
1 day. Oh yeah. Full day of work.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And, I did my audition, 2 lines, 2 scenes. And I was like, okay, it literally was 2 lines. It was like, hey, our boss is coming. And my buddy goes, what do we do? I say, I don't know. That's it. I didn't put anything on it. It was that simple. I sent it in. And then this was around my birthday. So last September, I'm obsessed with France. I wanted to be in France on my birthday. So I flew to France. I flew to Nice. As soon as I get off the plane, my agent hits me up and says, hey, you got the role. I said, great. They said they need you in 2 days, which is a full day of travel back. So I booked the next flight out of Nice, canceled my vacation for 1 day of work. My last minute ticket change cost more than what I would get paid for that 1 day of work. But in this industry, I'm like, I can't say no to this. Like you don't know what it could lead to.
If you don't take that step, you don't know what's going to happen.
Listen, that. So I cancel my vacation. I have 24 hours in Nice. I turn 29 in Nice. I'm like, cool. I book a Netflix show, dream come true. I don't care that I cancel my vacation. Like I said, I spent more on my ticket back than what I was going to make. And I thought it was going to be 1 day of work. I show up, we do our 1 day of work, we're eating lunch, and there's another guy in the show. His name is Reggie. So Tim and Reggie are like always together. We're ex-convicts, and we kind of do the dirty work. And we're eating lunch. We're like, man, cool. This has been a cool day. We got to meet the main cast, all that stuff. And some guy comes up to us in the lunch line. He's like, man, you guys are going to get into some stuff. We're like, what do you mean? We were like, it's nice to work with you, hopefully we catch you down the road. And he's like, oh no, there's a lot for you. Like, what do you mean? So long story long, I left France, spent all that money to come back for 1 day of work, and it turned into 4 months of work and 5 episodes. And I was only supposed to be in one. I was supposed to be in one tiny scene, and it turned into 4 months of work.
Did they like you that much? Your audition tape that much, or what?
So with these shows, I mean, they're all different, but they're I believe they know point A to point B. They know the finish line. They know how they're going to get there, and they have a script. But as you put the performances on their feet and you see how the stories unfold, they write things and whatnot. But I believe they already had stuff written out, but they just weren't sure. So when I auditioned, they advertised the role as one day at work. I'm like, all right, cool, because things happen, things change, and but yeah, that like you said, you have to take the step because I could have been like, I'm not canceling my vacation. I'm already here. It's 12 hours of flight, whatever. But
Do you feel like that was like, it's almost not that they knew you were out there, but it's like almost like, you see lines in the sand that you're just like, not like, God in the universe is like, if you're willing to do this, we'll give you this.
100%, man. Obedience. It's like if you want it that bad and you're willing, because obviously I want to be that guy. I want to have my own films, be the lead, all that stuff. And I'm like, if I can't, you have to be faithful with the little in order to be faithful with a lot.
Absolutely.
And if I can't come in and give these 2 lines, 2 scenes, if I can't come in and give my all of that and treat them like it's the greatest performance of my life, then I don't deserve a bigger role.
How do you expect to get the big whenever you don't treat the little like the big?
Exactly, because people turn their noses up at it and they're like, oh, 2 lines, 2 scenes, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you don't know what that would lead to. Like 4 months of work and
Trillion%.
you have no idea. And so like just being obedient and trusting it, I'm like, why would I say no to this role now? Because I'm on vacation. I'm like, I can go to France again, which I'm going to, but I'm like, I'm gonna go see what this is about. And it opens so many doors.
But hey,
and
Nice, France, you got taste, bro. And a lot of people don't know about Nice over here. I do. Forza Horizon 2, baby.
yeah,
That's what got me hemmed up.
you're a cultured man.
Bro, that's what got me hemmed up.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I want to go there so bad. Because it mimicked, it reminded me a lot of Positano in Italy. We did a wedding there a couple years ago. And I was like, it's not Nice, France, but I guess it'll do. God almighty, is it gorgeous over there.
They're so beautiful, man.
My
the food,
God.
dude, and I'm going back. And like, yeah, man, it's traveling's good for you, man. It's good for the soul. And
It's
I mean,
so funny. Whenever Logan and I started getting around, we people were like, "Oh my God, they're doing all the crazy stuff." I was like, "We're just not going to Panama City Beach every time we go on vacation."
thank you. Because listen, I've talked to so many, and it's fine. You can go to Florida every year. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Do it.
But
My mama's taking us next month.
yeah, see, it's okay. But sometimes, like when I've gone to Paris, to Nice, Norway, all these different places, and people are like, "Man, you must be balling." I'm like, "How much did you spend on your trip to Florida?" And they'll tell me, and it's twice as much as I spent to go to Paris. Like, it's not as the plane ticket is usually the most expensive thing.
If you do it right,
dude, the like where I'm going in September, it's like I talked to my best friend and was like, "This is how much I'm paying for this trip." It's half of what he's paying to go somewhere else. And I'm like, man, like there's more out there. Out there. There's nothing wrong with, there's beautiful places in the United States, but yeah, get out there, man.
I flew a couple of years ago. My best friend and I was a big metalhead growing up. I mean, I still am, just not as much.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to a band called Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh yeah.
Dude. Well, one of my internet friends from way back in the day, her name is Talia. She was the booking manager or something like that for the Whiskey A Go Go in West Hollywood. That's where like they filmed that Motley Crue documentary. Machine Gun Kelly played Tommy Lee and all that stuff. The Dirt. They filmed all that in there because that's where Motley Crue actually got their start. Well, she was the booking manager for that place.
Yeah.
And she messaged me. She was like, "Hey, 2 days before Knotfest, Bring Me the Horizon is playing a secret show here. You got to get tickets." So I knew that they were coming out there. Place 125 person cap max.
That's the best kind.
Might be a little bit bigger than that, but 125 people in that small room. Good night.
That's the best show ever, man.
So we got tickets. We flew out there. Spirit Airlines. That's what I was talking about. I flew out there. $50 round trip.
Oh,
The whole trip for the tickets, the car, and the hotel. I think we spent $250 a piece.
wow. See, it's doable.
People just don't know how to wheel and deal.
No.
You know, especially this part of the country. I mean, these days, I've touched on it a couple of times in the past, but in fact, I think I might have talked about this on the forgotten episode that Logan and I did that was so terrible. The first episode that we ever recorded this, it was so terrible, we just redid it.
Yeah.
And I talked about Southwest Airlines.
Yeah.
Some people in this part of the country, they'd rather drive than fly anything else but Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
But me, you could put me in the cargo bay, baby. I'm fine.
Load it up.
Fine.
Load it up.
You know, I just, whatever gets you going.
Yeah, whatever means, man, however you get there, like, it's okay to ball on a budget.
Dude.
I mean.
So, this waterfront show.
Yeah.
You're pretty stoked on it.
I'm excited, man. Like, I talked to WKDZ and they're like, how much of this is this? And I know what I filmed. I know I was there for 5 episodes and I'm very proud of it. I'm not. So there's a main cast. There's a main 5.
Are you supporting?
Yeah. So like a reoccurring character, essentially, however they bill it.
You're
like
the reoccurring pain.
Yeah. So like there's
here he comes.
Pain. But there's the main cast, like the main 5, and that the whole story unfolds around them, of course. And I work for the family. They have a fishing operation, and we're ex-cons. And so they get involved with some shady stuff, like cartel stuff, and they're trying to get out. And he's
cartel.
like, yeah. And the main guy, he's like, hey, I need some help with some stuff. And we're like, okay. And we go and help him. So
you're the main guy's lackey, essentially.
Essentially, yeah. And his son has a cool story arc, because he's like, at the beginning he's getting too big for his britches. He hasn't really dealt with any of this, so we kind of help him. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We never know what makes it in the edit. I mean, they had a premiere at the Austin Film Festival of the first episode, and some people got back to me. They said it's great, but you never know. You never know what makes it in the edit. I know what I filmed, and nothing will ever take that experience away from me. Like, it's about what isn't on screen for me, the memories of people, the knowledge and all that. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm a fan of the story, even if I'm not in it. Like, remove me from the equation. The writing is phenomenal, because it's honestly, it's rare nowadays. There's so many shows, there's so many movies being put out. It's rare to come across like really good writing. Like, I just don't. I'm a sucker for watching the same stuff over and over. Like, it's almost hard for me to even start a new show or something, but I am very excited.
One of my best friends, Peyton King, he has watched Lost like 5 or 6 times.
Oh yeah, I'm like that with Game of Thrones.
Oh my god,
I love that show.
Last season sucked.
It did. It hurt me.
Speaking of Game of Thrones,
yeah,
something has absolutely broken my heart recently.
What is it?
It's how bad the internet is treating Bella Ramsey.
Oh yeah, they are not happy.
I will tell you this, and I mean it. Have you played The Last of Us Part 2? Like the game? This last season does not do the game justice at all.
I've heard that.
It doesn't.
I've heard that's where a lot of backlash.
But they have got to give that girl a break. She's just doing what the role was.
She's just doing her job. She's like literally like she's reading the script.
Give that girl a break, dude.
The internet, man, it's a
the internet.
It's a rough place.
Is a crazy place.
It's a rough place.
You give people a platform to say anything they want, and boy, they turn into the Mario Brothers.
Oh man, like, and the toxicity that spreads faster
everywhere.
Oh yeah, like
you're more susceptible to see a bad comment than you would a good comment
100%.
Because bad comments travel faster than good comments do.
100%, 100%.
And
it's crazy.
I knew how season 2 was going to go of The Last of Us. I did. I knew, and you know, it's just crazy to see Craig. What's his last name? Craig Mazin, whatever. He did Chernobyl, you know, and he's done all these other shows. And of course, the guy that made The Last of Us, he's had a very big hand in how it all goes. I'm like, how can you stray away from? How can you stray away from the source material so much?
That is so disheartening, because I'm a huge fan of The Witcher. Like The Witcher 3, favorite video game of all time. and then the show just
How you gonna recast my boy Geralt?
yeah, man. I feel your pain. I feel your pain because
Henry Cavill, bro, he put his whole body into
oh
that
my gosh,
show,
dude.
dude.
He knew the source material better than anyone, and so I feel you. I feel your pain as a fan of the game, and the show not delivering on something that, I mean, like when The Witcher was coming out, they're like, oh, this could, because Game of Thrones had ended, they're like, this could be the next.
Yeah.
And definitely in my eyes, it could have been, but it didn't turn out that way. But yeah, maybe they'll, I don't know. And then like people aren't happy with Halo and other stuff. And it's,
See, I didn't watch that one.
I didn't either.
Was that Steven Spielberg?
I don't know. I don't know who did it.
Yeah,
No idea.
I don't want to. It was one of those guys.
Yeah.
It was
I
one of
don't
those
know.
guys that did it. But I don't know. I think a lot of times we're seeing that like video game adaptations, like to movies, probably aren't like the best.
No, it's got to be in the right hands. And like,
Now, so the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, wonderful. Mario Brothers, wonderful.
yeah.
But dude, my God, I was really, because I remember Logan and I, we filmed a wedding in Denver, and I want to say it was 2023. I had known that The Last of Us was premiering the week that we were there, and I think they come out with, I think it was just one episode. It might have been two. They started with two, but I remember I was like, oh my God, we got to watch this the right way. I drove to a Best Buy and got a Chromecast for the hotel because I knew it was going to snow.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I gotta
have it.
I gotta get after it. But I was just, we haven't even finished.
Oh, really?
Haven't even finished the season. I stopped
Yeah.
after episode 2. You know what happens in episode 2? Oh my God!
I have an idea.
Let's go golfing. Freaking nuts.
Oh, man.
I just love how, I hope you turn into one of those guys that like, oh my God, he's starring in another one of those. I hope you're the next freaking Pedro Pascal.
I'll take it, man. What a career he's had.
He's doing everything.
He is in Game of Thrones and Fantastic Four, Last of Us, all of it. He's everywhere, man. He's crushing it. Crushing it.
Fantastic Four, bro. I love seeing the rise of actors, seeing where they started from.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Guy that plays Eddie Munson in
Yeah,
Stranger
Joseph
Things.
Quinn. He's in Fantastic Four.
What
Absolutely.
a run he's having.
And the first time I saw him, Game of Thrones. He has a quick little bitty part.
Yes, he
And-
does, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Game
I was
of
like,
Thrones is like where a lot of people get their start, huh?
yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause-
It's crazy to see his come up.
They really took a chance on like a lot of just like up and coming
yeah.
talent too.
Yeah.
And like look at how that's like started their careers and stuff.
100%.
And it seems like you were in like the early stages of that being your story too.
I hope and pray, man. Like, I just take, I just keep my head down and keep auditioning, keep working, and things are starting to come to the surface. And yeah, I hope and pray that one day, you look back and you're like, oh, you popped up in Waterfront, you popped up in Call of Duty and whatever else. And yeah, man, I'm excited for where it's going. And yeah, I can't wait.
Dude, I'm so stoked. Well, bro, it's been so freaking sick to have you on
man.
here. I felt like this is the most down-to-earth conversation I've had on this podcast yet because this is like my expertise.
Yeah,
this is me right here. I love it. I'm a movie freak, dude. I love it. But hey, Waterfront, when does it come out?
Waterfront drops on Netflix June 19th. Tell your friends, tell your cat, tell your sister, tell everybody.
Because you got a local boy in it. You better support it, all right?
Kentucky, baby, stand up.
Kentucky.
Stand up. Kentucky.
I swear, come on. Hey, like I said all the time, love yourself, love others, take a chance. If you're not scared, it's not worth it.
That's
Prime
it.
example is right here. We love you. We'll see you next time, all right?